Rob, how you doing, buddy?
I'm not doing too bad. How about you?
I'm doing well. Production team is struggling a little bit, but we'll figure that out. It's been a little bit since we've done this.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, we'll get it figured out here in just a second. How you doing, Rob?
Well, I'm doing good. I mean, we're here tonight in the Belle Province. We're here in, well, not my hometown, but my home country, and I'm excited, to be honest.
Yeah, I think you should be, though.
I mean, it's an iconic track, and you know, with actually F1 coming to this very track this weekend.
Really?
Yeah, so it's interesting to see, and you know, I was looking at some stats there earlier, and the fastest GT3 to get around this track has been 1:37.28.
That's not bad.
Now, I'm looking at guys here, and we got 1:36.91, 1:36.98, 1:37.47, 1:37.50, 1:37.60.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we already have 5 guys that have gone around this track faster than the fastest GT3 to go around this course.
So we're record setting? Is that what I'm hearing?
So far, yes.
Ooh.
We are record setting.
Record setting. Now, you know, we weren't able to be here or be in Long Beach last week when they were racing there. But from what I've heard from the drivers, there's some interesting races there.
Well, I mean, I was there. You may not have been, but I was there.
Well, how was it?
And it was an amazing race, to be honest. I mean, you know, of course, the 3 names at the top of the list that finished 1, 2, 3 last week come to no surprise, really. I mean, JP finished first, Mike Weir finished second, Eric McCready finished third. So, you know, here, that's kind of normal. And as JP was saying last week, you know, he just sat there and waited for somebody to make a mistake. That's what he does every single week.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to see that here today, I believe.
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be an exception to that. This week, JP's been, he's been a talker we've been talking about for the last few weeks here, and with good reason. He has put down fastest laps at every race he's been in. He's been in a few close battles. He had an incident 2 weeks ago with, I believe it was Mike Weir. Am I right with that saying, or was it Eric McCready? I think it was Mike Weir.
Yeah, it was Mike Weir.
Okay, where them two got together and JP finished second, but he's been on a win streak since then. So, yeah, I don't see any issues besides the beef on the field.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is a technical track now. So what is interesting about this track is, so turn 10 is a 180-degree hairpin turn.
Really?
You brake too late, and you're off course.
You're toast.
You're done.
Okay.
And
but there's a few hairpin turns. There's a lot of technical turns on this track tonight.
there is a lot of technical turns, but the one hairpin is that turn 10. Now, as you see, I believe that was Scott Shepard going around that there.
Yep, Scott Shepard.
So, I mean, it's all about the breaking points here. So, now there's also, so the exit of the final chicane for the start-finish line. So that'll be turn, I believe, 12 and 13.
Yes.
Now, it's got a name of Wall of Champions.
So, I got to know why.
So let me get into that. So it's also nicknamed Le Mur du Québec, which means the wall of, or the Quebec Wall, essentially. Now, they actually had a Tourism Quebec sign there that said Bienvenue du Québec, which means welcome to Quebec.
Yeah, you're going to have to speak English, brother, because I'm having some trouble understanding what you're saying.
So, now, the reason it's called the Wall of Champions is because it has caught so many champions off guard that they end up just hitting it on
Really?
on the exit of 13 there. So,
Well, maybe we won't have JP in the wall tonight. Because so far, he is the leader in the points from what our last standings were showing. Am I right?
that is true.
So maybe he won't get caught up in that tonight.
Well, we're hoping not. I mean, we've seen him race each and every week, and he tends to kind of stay out of things unless somebody hits him. To be honest.
Yeah. Well, let's take a look at some of these some of the track information we have for tonight. So, tonight we are, like Rob said, what's the name of it, Rob?
In the Belle Province. So we're in the beautiful province of Quebec on the Ile Notre Dame in Montreal.
Now, right now it's 65 degrees air temperature with a humidity of 54%. The sky today is very pretty for it to be Canada. I'm used to it being, I figured it'd be gray and snowing somewhere, even if it's summer. But it's not.
Okay, it's the middle of June. We don't have snow here. Right?
But it is partly cloudy with the wind out of the west going to the east. Temperature on the track right now is 105 degrees, 5 temps over the optimal racing temp, so this track should be a little slick. As you see, Charles Harris there getting around, or getting loose. He didn't get around, he got loose. This track is a full 2.68 miles. They are doing the full configuration today, and we are just 28 feet above sea level.
Yep.
So,
yeah, and I mean we're right on the St. Lawrence, and you kind of have to think, is that going to play into this some? With everything cooling down some.
Yeah, and this
are we going to see it cool right down, or are track temperatures going to get up there?
Yeah, I'm not sure. As you see, this track is all water. So if it comes,
it's on an island.
You learn something new every time here. With me being an American and living by American rules, gun-toting American, Canada kind of shied me away and put stuff over my eyes coming into the track. So apparently I'm not really welcome, but oh well. I'm here. We're having a good time.
Oh no, you're always welcome up here.
So got to ask you, Rob. You come down to Alabama last week. How was it?
It was hot and sticky. I mean, I don't think I've sweat that much in my entire life.
Yeah. How was Dega? I know you went by and saw it. Had to.
Yeah, we went by it, and I mean, it blew my mind. You see it on TV, you see it in video games, you see it here on iRacing, and you don't think it's that big until you get up next to it. And
that's what she said.
Easy now, keep it PG.
Hey, we're talking about a hot dog, okay? A foot long scares some people.
But
all right.
No, it was interesting, that's for sure.
Yep. All right. Good deal. We'll have to get you back down here for a Talladega race. And
yes, for sure.
Yep. So we have entered the 51 minute of a 65-minute practice. We have about 15 minutes till we go to qualifying session. Let's take a look at some of the drivers, or let's talk about some of the drivers at each one, where we think they're going to finish at, from top to bottom. Eric McCready in the number 311. I'll get out in a minute. Eric currently has the fastest lap time of 1:36.81. I've heard some secrets from JP, so I'm not going to disclose those. That's why he's not on track right now. Mike Ware is in second place in these fastest best lap times. He's at a 1:36.91. He's literally 1/10 of a second slower on fastest lap times. His top speed is running about 156, whereas Eric McCready's is running about 157. And sitting third currently is Sean Crooks. Now, Sean Crooks sits at a 1:36.98. So he is 7/100 seconds slower than Mike Ware. As I said before, these top three will change. Now, who it will be, I don't know. I think JP will play a good role at being in the top three. What do you think?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, each and every week, if he doesn't start in the top three, he's there fairly quickly.
Yep.
And I mean, that's just how he races. I mean, he just waits for the simplest little mistake of the guy in front of him, and he capitalizes on it. And it seems that, you know, every time they make just a tiny little mistake, he's always in the optimal position to take that position. So it'll be interesting to see where, he ends up qualifying.
Yep.
I mean, I'm sure he's practiced quite a bit, so he's just getting comfortable in the car and just waiting to take off, and we'll see how it turns out here this tonight.
Yeah. So we are racing during the daytime, as you see Mike Weir get a little loose there. Actually grabbed the wall, looked like. So that was a top three. I think JP, Eric, and Mike will be fighting for that first position again. It happens every week. But I do want to watch out, though. I want you to watch out for Roger Clark. Roger Clark has been doing really well. He's a newcomer into the league. He does currently hold his A license in road, but he does a fairly good job doing what he needs to do to take care of what he needs to take care of on the road. So I think he may be somebody to watch out for. Those three that like the battle, I think they're going to be four up there today.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. And, when we were at Charlotte, I mean, he finished on the podium. For his first race into the GT3 series within this league, finishing on a podium. Last week, he had a little bit of mishaps and stuff at Long Beach, but I think he's going to get that Ferrari out here, and he's going to be a contender here tonight for sure.
Yeah. And another one I want to look out for is Scott Shepard. He currently sits in fifth. Now, he does well when it comes to road racing. The problem with Scott, though, is he lets the pressure get the best of him. We seen that when we went to Monza. The pressure definitely got a hold of him. He would have done well at Monza, but the pressure got a hold of him. He sent it too hard to the turn 5, and the rest was history. He fell back, had to pit, get damage repaired, and he just took a hard L that day at Monza. And he's been slowly gaining it back, but it seems every time he gets into the pressure, it goes downhill from there. So maybe he can overcome his jitters and do well today. He's currently holding the fifth fastest time at 1:37.47. So he's sitting right there on the cusp of Eric McCready, which currently holds a 1:36.49. So he's about a second back from him. Maybe, just maybe, we can see Scott Shepard actually win one today.
It could be, and I mean, in the top 5 we have 3 Canadians, so maybe it's home track advantage.
Maybe. But,
I mean, I got to throw that in there somewhere.
Man, I just want to point out it's only top 2. Eric is from the United States, but that's beside the point.
Well, yeah, semantics. That's what that is.
All right. Well, we're going to take a second here since we're reaching the end of our practice run here. We're going to sit back and hear a word from some of our sponsors we have this evening. So we'll be back in just a bit. We are back here at Montreal. I am Andrew Spears, my co-host Rob McDonald. We are the United Racing Network. Rob, we are less than 10 minutes away from qualifying.
Oh, yeah, and, I'm kind of getting the jitters a little bit.
Kind of. This is your home track, dude.
It is.
You should be out there racing. What are you doing sitting up here with me in the booth?
I should be. I mean, I got my setup. It's ready to go.
You're a slacker,
but,
man. You're a slacker.
But I'm more comfortable up here in the booth though. So
I think you give them a run for their money, though.
I don't know about that.
Hey,
I mean,
I've already told you when we go to Talladega, I'm gone. I'm leaving you up here by yourself if I have to.
Yeah, we'll see.
All right. Let's take a minute to recognize some of our rookies racing tonight. Brian Mansfield, he's not a rookie to the league, but he is a rookie to road. He currently holds a 2.58 a safety rating with his license as a rookie. He is currently sitting in the 9th position. We have 10 total cars signed up for the field. To be honest, he may be looking just to survive, but this is a good track to get some experience with some very hard and technical turns. Now, how does this track compare to last week, you may ask? Well, what I remember of seeing last week from when I was watching the broadcast, tight turns, tight corners. This track has it, and these walls are going to start closing in on these cars getting towards the end of the race. The hairpins are there. There's multiple 45-degree angle turns, S turns, all that. So there's some similarities to these tracks that we see here and the track that we seen last week. So do you think that's a good a good analysis of the track?
Yeah, I'd say that, but I don't feel these walls would be closing in on the racers as much, just because it is a little bit of a wider track. All they're going to have to really focus on is their braking points, because here, if you don't brake in the proper zones, it's done. You're toast.
Yeah, you'll go through and get a time penalty, right?
Well, not that. You'd probably hit a barrier.
Or hit the Wall of Champions?
Yeah, or you'll hit the Wall of Champions. And, this track, it has the long straightaways that we thrive for because, I mean, there we can see those top speeds, and see these guys push these cars, almost to their breaking point. As you see,
Charles Harris
get a little loose there coming out of the corner in that beautiful AMG.
Yep, and iRacing released this new Mercedes we're watching.
Yep.
This is
they
it.
Released it last week, and last week it was a beast, and they just sound beautiful.
Yeah, they do. I love the way the front end looks. I love the accent lighting on the car. I love the way it sounds. I watched a YouTuber that had one of these for a little while and fell in love, even though I don't want to pay Mercedes repair costs if I ever mess it up. So that's why I'm driving a Ford F-150.
I feel you. And, these cars, a normal repair bill isn't, your $200 oil change. It's probably like an $8,000 oil change.
Yes, that is true. Very true for that. I couldn't imagine. These cars are just a spectacular sight to see, and I'm really shocked because like what we're used to with oval racing is, you do have a Chevy, you have a Ford, you even got a Toyota, but underneath you really have the same engine. The specs are all there the same. These cars come in their own specs, but they're so similar that you can have multiple different manufacturers, as we see on track tonight. We have Ferrari, we have Porsche, we have Mercedes, we have BMW, we have McLarens, we have Audis. So being able for these cars to maintain their pace with one another and a new car win each week, unless you're racing JP, it blows my mind because where I'm at, we're heavy in the NASCAR. And even though that your car may say Ford, it may have a Hendrick motor underneath, Yeah. So that's where I love this side of the motorsports, because it actually showcases what the manufacturer can put into a car.
Yeah, absolutely. And even when you watch the GT4, which are almost these cars, but not quite, because the GT4s, they're essentially just production cars suited to race. And then, you have the GT3s where the manufacturers put in so much time and development just to make sure that these cars perform as optimally as they can, it's just a sight to see for sure.
Yeah. So, it's gonna be fun to see as we round out our practice time here. We got probably about 2 minutes to go before we go into it. Is 65 minutes worth of practicing, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So we got to. I don't want to make that mistake and have 10 minutes left. So we currently have less than 2 minutes now before we go to qualifying. After watching what you've seen tonight, Rob, who do you got? And I'm doing an impromptu rule. You can't use last week's winner.
Well, I mean, that was my pick because, I didn't pick him last week. But, I just love the way JP races, and if I can't pick him, well, then I'll have to go with Eric McCready tonight.
Eric McMullet Creedy, right?
Eric McMullet Creedy, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So why is that?
I mean, if I can't have the top guy from last week, I'll get the next guy down.
There you go. Well, I'm gonna go with JP Alfonso.
You can't do that.
He didn't win. He didn't win 3 races ago.
You just said the winner
I'm
last
messing
week.
with you. Calm down. I'm gonna go with my man Roger Clark. Now I want him to show out tonight. I think he will. He's new to the league, not new to road racing. I think he's going to do well tonight. I don't want him to let me down, but I also have good feelings about it. I really think, with there being a wall of champions on this track, JP may get caught up in the wall of champions tonight. So, with that being said, my guy is going to be Roger Clark.
All right.
So.
And actually, we're getting word that he actually won the Legends race earlier tonight. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, you got a winner from the Legends jumping into these GT3 cars, and we'll see. Eric McCready's got his time down to a 136 flat.
Yeah, he does. 136 flat, but JP didn't turn a lap, so.
No, so we're gonna jump into qualifying here. Now, for everybody at home, it may look like all these guys are on the track at the same time, but they are each in their individual qualifying sessions. So we'll see them go around the track, and we will first jump on with looks like Brian Mansfield.
Yep.
In the autism awareness car.
We'll jump in with him. We'll just kind of go through the field and see how people are doing. We will our helmet cam tonight, or our car cam, belongs to Charles Harris himself. So we will catch a lap around this track tonight with him and see how he does this evening when he gets ready to take his lap, which it looks like he already is. So let's jump over there to him real quick, and we'll see how he's going to do tonight. I think he's going to do good.
Yeah, he was fast in practice, but like we've said many, many times before, practice doesn't mean anything. These guys are just getting warmed up to the track, so qualifying is really where it counts. So they're going to be, pushing themselves, pushing the cars to get them around the track as fast as they can so that they can qualify in a decent position.
Yep, and I'm still trying to find this this turn you're talking about. I still hadn't seen it yet. I'm going to watch right here as we ride on board with Charles Harris.
Yeah, so it's on turn 12 and 13.
We just come through, and he's approaching it now, isn't he?
Let me just take a look here. Yes, as you see the Welcome to Quebec sign there in the background, that's that wall on the exit. So,
and we are on a lap right now. Let's see how he does. Good braking, good apexing. You can see how close he's getting to these corners here. It's just unreal.
I mean, but that's the fastest way around the track. So I mean, you gotta cut it as close as you can.
Yep.
Without cutting it too close, otherwise you're gonna hop up and you're gonna lose a little bit of speed. And
Yep, because
possibly end up wrecking, so.
you're always faster with 4 tires on the ground than 3 or 2.
Yep.
But I just can't believe. Yeah, I can't believe you have so many hairpins around this turn. I think when it's going to take probably about 2 laps for people to get spread out enough to where they can start racing it, one car at a time. But I think the first lap or so, we may see, maybe a big pile up, especially right there through the hairpin.
Yeah, I mean, these guys will have to, almost preemptively brake so that they're not running into the rear end of each other. So, I mean, I know that's going to be a spot of interest tonight for sure. Along with this one here, as he comes around, you see how close he gets to that wall there.
Yep. And he will be the first one to have a qualifying time. He will have a qualifying time of 1:38.62. We're following along with JP Alfonso now. He is approaching the hairpin. He is on his outlap. Charles Harris still holds the fastest time. Brian Mansfield currently holds a 1:41.77. He's a few seconds off the pace. But, again, for all you fans out there, he's not a road racer. He's an oval racer, and I'll tell you, racing in firsthand, he is a beast on oval. So,
yeah, he is.
All right. So we did have a couple of changes there. David Tamara and Sean Crooks just took away that first position. It is David Tamara in first, Sean Crooks in second with a very, very similar time. David Tamara had 1:37.55, and Sean Crooks had 1:37.59. But we just had another change. Mike Weir currently sits in that first position with a lap time of 1:36.64.
Yeah, and it looked like JP there on that chicane. He got up on 2 wheels, and I think he may have clipped that wall because that lap did not count for him.
Yeah, and it looked like he just cut it there too.
Yeah.
The track limits are they do have rules in place for track limits tonight, and their lap or their qualifying scrutiny is up to high, meaning they can't go in the grass at all. So this lap may not count for him either.
Yeah. Which will be unfortunate, but I mean, he's a road racer at heart. So I mean, when he gets around this track, regardless of where he qualifies, he always seems to sit up front at some point in the race. So
yeah, that's true. And Mike Weir and Roger Clark. Take that back. Eric McCready and Mike Weir, Roger Clark is your top 3 as of right now. We're going to continue to follow along with JP to see how he does. Jamie Maudsley has not gridded yet to qualify. Actually, I take that back. He's on field now, qualifying. Charles Harris and Brian Mansfield has finished. As they approach the champion turn, or what'd you call it?
The Wall of Champions.
Wall of Champions.
Or the Mirror de Quebec.
Well, I'll just go with the Wall of Champions. And will that lap time count? It does. JP will start in third if nothing changes.
With a 1:36.90.
Now, that was his second time. That second lap, right?
Yeah.
Or is this the second lap?
This might be his second lap here. I'm not 100%.
He's driving like it is.
Yeah, he is.
But Roger there, he is currently holding that 4th position. All of our picks are in the top 5 so far.
So far.
And so is our top 5 that we figured how would finish the race. Now, I don't want to talk bad upon anybody, but I think the biggest mover of the night will be whoever finishes in last, and I think the biggest break will be whoever gets caught up in the first few incidents.
Yeah, I mean, and with how fairly narrow this track is, and with the amount of turns, you can almost guarantee that it'll happen fairly quickly.
Yeah. As he approaches the Wall of Champions up there, or whatever you said. I believe this lap is going to count. I'm looking back. I only seen one lap completed for JP. So this is going to be a good one. He got around this time faster, and he didn't hop either. So he may have the pole right now.
As we'll wait for the timing to come in.
And it looks like he's going to... Maybe that was his second lap because it did not change. He just had another lap time. Yep. So the unofficial results right now sit. Eric McCready holds that first spot. Mike Ware holds second. JP Alfonso holds third. Roger Clark holds fourth. David Tamara holds fifth. Sixth is Sean Crook. Seventh is Scott Shepard. Eighth is Charles Harris. Ninth is Christopher Morrison. 10th is Brian Mansfield. And Jamie Maudsley holds the 11th spot if he gets a lap. He is on track now, but has not completed a lap. So we'll see what happens there. Now go back and look at these track times for the top three. We're 7/10 of a second between first and third.
Yeah,
that's fast. I mean, 7/10 can be made up in one turn, no problem.
Oh, absolutely. And yeah, I mean 7/10 is nothing. You blink and it's gone. So
yep. And Jamie Maudsley does a 140.86, so he takes the 10th position away from Brian Mansfield. And if that will stick, as you hear him peak his engine there, if this sticks, that's your starting lineup. But we have less than a minute to go in qualifying. We only did 10 minutes worth, and then we'll be gridding. So with that, I'm going to go grab me a swish of water real quick. Rob, I believe you should do the same because these next 45 minutes is going to be the fastest 45 minutes and the most exciting 45 minutes of our life from to date. So we'll see you back here in about a minute. All right, guys, we have gridded. Let's go through the starting lineup for this evening. Starting in your number one position is going to be Eric McCready. Number two is Mike Ware. He is a Canada boy. JP Alfonso currently holds that third position. Roger L. Clark. He's from Virginia. Or I believe it's, Virginia he's from. He holds the fourth position. David Tamara, he's a Californian. He holds that number five position. Sean Crooks is also a Canadian boy. He holds that sixth position. Scott Shepard, also a Canadian boy, holds that seventh spot. Charles Harris is from Michigan. He's going to be sitting in that eighth position. Ninth is Christopher Morrison. He's, you guessed it, from Canada. Jamie Maudsley, he is part of Left Turn Motorsports. He is currently holding that 10th position. And Brian Mansfield, he is racing for the Combs Family Museum. I believe that's out of North Carolina. He is sitting in that 11th spot. That's who's on the field. That's who we've got. These cars are coming down. They're going to go through the hairpin. That Porsche is going to take off to the pits, and we're going to go green here momentarily. As you see them go through the turn, they're getting ready to go green, and I think they're going green.
Yep, they're green.
And Eric McCready takes off, and he's already got a half-second gap ahead of second and third. But that's not going to hold long because Mike Ware and JP Alfonso is right on his tail.
Yeah, and Roger Clark's not too far back there as well, and that, that monochrome Ferrari that he stole the paint job off me. But
that's a beautiful car. You said he stole your paint job, huh?
Well, I mean, I got it off trading paint, but because I'm not that talented to make something like that.
Yeah.
But I started racing that when I got out of my rookie class, and I said it last week. He stole the paint off me, so
There you
that's
go.
where we're sticking to it.
That's my story, and you're sticking to it, huh?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, Eric McCready has got a heck of a jump on the on second, third place. He is currently holding about a 1.5 second lead over Mike Ware and JP Alfonso.
Yeah, but I mean, on tracks like this, 1.5 seconds on the starting lap doesn't really hold up because, I mean, as I was talking to racers, last week, yeah, you may be fast for a few laps, but you won't be able to maintain that the entire race. So, you just kind of got to sit back and get comfortable. And
Yeah,
run
but
a consistent lap.
David Tamara there, he's looking for that inside over Roger Clark. Almost had it there in that turns 11 and 12, but didn't get it. Roger Clark's going to fend him off, and that beautiful Ferrari is going to outpower that BMW for right now.
Yeah, it looks like Christopher Morrison may have had a little bit of an issue because he went off track.
Yep, I am getting that same notification. Let's go back and take a look at it.
Looks like he just overheated the brakes there.
Yep, and grabbed that wall. He jumped to the pits. We'll make sure he's okay. He should be back on track soon. And guys, we have some exciting news coming forward, but I'm not going to tell you right now. You have to stick around for a little bit before I tell you.
Why you gotta leave him in suspense like that?
It's all good. It's all good. We'll see what happens going forward. But don't let me forget to tell him, Rob, because I'd hate to have to tell him tomorrow.
Alrighty. I'll remind you.
All right, good deal.
Remember to tell them.
All right, so JP Alfonso has taken that third position, or that second position away from Mike Ware. Let's go back and take a look at it since we were looking at somebody else. It was a good pass. He did it up here in the corner, side-by-side action, as you see them approaching one of the corners, and I think he's got that position.
Yeah, you just go to the inside of them, and those Porsches, they're just a beast on tracks like this, and
they're good with cornering. That's the big
yeah.
thing. They're good with cornering. They're very good with cornering. So,
but now he has to, hunt down Eric McCready, who's sitting 3 seconds ahead right now. So, what's going through JP's mind right now?
So I've got a few ideas on what's going through his mind. We're only 3 minutes into this race. It matters because we're only 3 minutes into this race. See, Eric's got the pit. He's not going to be able to stay out. Now, whether he takes tires or not is going to determine what happens. He has position over JP. So now that he's got a little bit of a position, he doesn't have to worry about using his tires so much. He can start pushing his corners back, slowing down a little bit more for these turns, and saving what he has in those tires. But if he's already used a lot of the tires that he wanted to use, and so Brian Mansfield has crashed. Hold on we'll get back to that in just a second. He just loses it, smacks that wall.
Yeah, he got into it a little bit when the car was still kind of sideways, and
Yep, get word. Sorry, real quick. Charles Harris has crashed as well. We were just talking about him in practice.
Yeah.
And Jamie
got
Monsley.
together, actually.
Yep, we're going to look here and see. He just come around, and Jamie...
May have tapped him a little bit.
Yep, that was the notification we got. That slowed him down. Jamie may have grabbed him on the side, but it wasn't enough to get anything.
It doesn't look like there's any damage on that front splitter.
Yep, you can see him get loose here, and he just covers the track up. Good job avoiding that by Jamie Maudsley. But what I was back to saying about JP and Eric, JP's got some distance to gain. He's got to gain 3.5, 4 seconds before he can even get up there to McCready. But McCready may be still hard in the gas, using all of his tires. He's going to have a tough time tonight. later on in this race where JP may be there saving his tires and saving what he has. JP will definitely lead a lap of this race. Now, whether that's enough to maintain what he has, that's the question. A lot of these guys, when we're doing these 45-minute races, don't even worry about tires. They just take fuel and go. So fuel-saving strategies are definitely becoming an option early. Tire-saving strategies will be a thing all night long. In the end, at lap 45, on minute 45 or 46, whichever one the checkered flag waves, whoever had the best strategy of the night is going to win this race.
Yeah, for sure. And, I mean, a lot of the times when these guys are on track, in the 45 minutes, if they take tires, that's about a minute pit stop.
Yep, because you can only take tires after the fuel has been put in the car. You can't do it at the same time.
Yeah, so, I mean, if you're stopping in for a minute, well, okay, let's say about a minute 17, driving down the pit lane, getting everything done. So a minute 17 is nothing when these guys are going around the track in a minute 36, minute 37.
You lose a minute 15 over the car in front of you.
Yeah. So, I mean, unless, these guys, Charles Harris almost loses it there.
Again.
But, unless you have a minute plus lead, I mean, you're not coming in for tires unless, you absolutely have to. But, I mean, I don't think I've seen anybody come in for tires during these 45-minute races. Unless, they spin out, they get a little bit of a bald spot on the tire, and then it's kind of necessary, but...
Yeah. And you're definitely right. And I really hope for McCready, he's looking to break JP's win streak so far. We've only got one race left, and this is a championship. This is a very important race for these guys that are racing tonight. If they don't get a win here, they're not in contention next week. If JP gets one more win, might as well say he's got the championship in the bag. So, with that being said, with McCready sitting in that spot, and Rob, I've told this to the viewers, we're not keeping track on screen with points, but go over there and look in that file folder that I give you at the start of this and pull up or pull up the points real quick. And while he's grabbing that, we're going to go through and check where we're sitting at in the field. Currently in that first position, we do have Eric McCready. In that second position, we have JP Alfonso. In third, we have Mike Weir. In fourth, we have Roger L. Clark. In fifth, we have David Tamara. And right behind him is Sean Crooks. In that seventh position, we have Jamie Maudsley. In the eighth position, there is a battle there before the seventh position with Charles Harris. Right behind him, that's Scott Shepard. In the 10th position, Brian Mansfield, and Christopher Morrison still away. He's not on track. Rob, you got that paper pulled out?
Yes, sir.
All right, so what's the points difference right here between these top three?
So right now, the difference between JP Alfonso and Eric McCready is 19 points.
So McCready needs this win tonight to be in contention for next week for the championship. Is that's what I'm hearing?
Yeah, for sure. And
it may even be enough to overtake JP for the lead in points.
It would be. Now, I am getting word from race control as well. So the first of 2 drop races should come into play after tonight's results are uploaded.
Okay.
So
having the 2 drop races could either affect positively or negatively for either one of those drivers.
Yeah. So, I mean, it looks like right now, JP has 10 starts and, 10 races counted. Eric McCready only has 9 starts. So, they'll drop, JP's worst race, and that'll shake things up as well as the manufacturer penalties. So at the start of this series, each driver is asked to declare a manufacturer. and they are to race that manufacturer for the entire series. Now, if they jump into another manufacturer's car, that's going to be a 10-point penalty for the manufacturer change for each time. So if they go out and, they jump in 3 different manufacturers' car, that's 30 points that they're losing off, the points that they have.
Yeah. Well, that's gonna be interesting to see how this shakes up. We're gonna have to definitely take notes tonight and get ready for the championship race next week, because next week is gonna be very interesting because of those drop races that you're talking about. We will officially declare a champion next week with this league, and it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out, because this is our first series that we've actually done with this is the first broadcast we've done with any type of road racing, and it's been a spectacle to watch. I've enjoyed my time here watching it, and next season we've got 2 nights a week that we will be watching GT3. We may be alternating. I'm kind of diving into the announcements I want to make. We don't have anything finalized yet because we got to make sure that this is what's going to happen. But as of right now, next week we will be at. Let me pull it up real quick.
Sebring International.
Sebring, wow, and it's going to be a night race too.
Yeah.
And talking about how everything's going to be set up next week, I want to pull it up here for season 3. So Sunday night we'll have ARCA and MX5, which will not be broadcasted. Monday nights, which is NASCAR trucks, will also not be broadcasted. That will most likely be streamed between myself and Rob racing in those races. Tuesday night is the Indy Dallara, or the Dallara 18 Indy race, followed by the GT3 Euro-Asia races. So these are tracks strictly in the Eastern Hemisphere. Wednesday night's the next gen NASCAR race. We will be broadcasting that, except for the races that are at super speedways. I may not be there one night. Rob may not be there one night. We'll determine that as we come down to it. And then on Thursdays we'll have GT3 Americas. That's what we're going to have to decide, whether we're going to broadcast Tuesday and Thursday, both GT3 races, or we're going to alternate. We'll let you guys know in the future, but that's how this season lineup is showing to be for the season 3, which is between July 10th and September 24th. I am really excited for the next season, because there's also a super speedway series where they go through different styles of cars at all the super speedways that iRacing has to offer. So we'll have more information about that soon, but that's our lineup for next season. If you're interested in joining Happy Hour Racing League, you can find them on Facebook. There's also a link in the About page on Twitch, and you can also Google it and find it through Facebook that way as well.
So I'm also being told that the Sebring race has been changed to a day race, so it is no longer a night race. And that's just to allow, our camera crews and everything else to provide a better race for you, and better race experience, because you'll actually be able to see the cars go around the track.
Good deal.
I know when we did Road Atlanta, it was a little tough. It was actually brighter than I thought it would be.
Yeah, that was a fun race too. Road Atlanta was a really fun race. There's some incidents between Mason Neal and JP, and I believe Mike Weir ended up winning that race by almost 40-something seconds.
Yeah.
So, and looking over at our chat here, Nizzy, yeah, definitely get your broadcasting pants on. We're going to need you, buddy. So, getting word here that Jamie Maudsley had a crash back on lap 7. And this was the group of guys. Charles Harris right there was right behind him.
Yeah, and Scott Shepard back there as well.
It just like he overdrove that corner.
Oh, yeah.
He didn't hit anything, though. Good job on racing from him.
It actually does look like the front is a little pushed in on that car.
It was
On the
Jamie,
right hand
right?
side. Yeah, on the right hand side.
Yep, I do see a little spacing there in the body panel. He looks like he's having some trouble controlling that car as well.
And I think he may have crashed again.
Maybe not. We were just watching him.
On lap 10.
Oh, yeah, he just said, I'm going to take the shortcut way and got penalized probably about 2 seconds worth. All right, well, we'll keep an eye on him for all you Jamie Mosley fans out there. He seems to be struggling at the moment. Let's see if he can turn it around. And as we watch the golf car, as I call it, I've been calling it all year long.
It's the lumberjack car, okay?
It's a lumberjack car. It reminds me of Irish people playing golf, okay? All right.
That's the Canadian lumberjack pattern right there.
Oh, man. You look like a freaking lumberjack.
I am.
Wood pusher or wood splitter. All right. So Mike Weir is currently about 3 seconds behind Alfonso, and Alfonso is about 6 seconds behind McCready. I believe we're at almost the halfway. We're a little less than about 8 minutes away from the halfway point. JP, I'd probably stick it into the pits now. This is my strategy. I would stick it in early on the pits and go ahead and take that L there. So when they go in later, I can pass them and hopefully have a good position.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't know. I mean, if I'm JP, I'm looking at, my guys behind me. So I got, Weir about 3 seconds behind me. I got Clark about, 5 seconds behind me. We're only 17 minutes in. Our pit window's probably sitting around, 25, 35 minutes. So to be honest, I'd wait to probably about, 28, 27 minutes. Try and extend that lead from Weir a little bit. Try and, gain on McCready just a little bit so that, you can get in there. You don't lose as much time, and you can get out there in a good track position for when, the leaders start to come in.
Yeah. Well, and my guy Roger Clark, he's currently holding that 4th position. He's doing well. He's not had any mess ups or mistakes. He's currently sitting about 2 seconds behind Mike Weir, 3 seconds behind Mike Weir. He's got a pretty good spot right now. I think he's in striking distance, but he's just waiting for more to happen to see what old Mike Weir is going to do so he can gain a podium tonight.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I mean, the way Roger races, he's very methodical. He has everything planned out, and, he's kind of set in his way.
You make him sound like he's an old man.
Well, I mean, he might be. I don't know. But just the way he races is very methodical, and it's all thought out. And, he just does his thing. It looks like Jamie Mosley may have crashed again.
He's just having a tough time controlling that car this evening. Yep, that same turn. He just cuts the corner, takes a 2-second penalty, and drives on about his day.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said earlier, your braking points are where you need to focus on, and you may just have to push them back just a touch so that he's not taking those 2-second penalties every lap.
Yeah, I just shifting down just a little bit more to keep that gap there, or keep that car from getting in the grass, because that looks like a hard turn. I told you these turns all night long are going to cause issues for multiple people on track, and we're seeing that.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And, as Mosley brings it down to the pits,
Yeah, and that's going to give Christopher Morrison, he is the lap down over Jamie Maudsley, but that will give him a chance to get that position over Maudsley back.
Yeah.
God, I love the way that car sounds.
Yeah, the AMGs always sound beautiful. And he's got a beautiful Jägermeister paint on there.
You think he drinks those?
I mean, I'm sure he does.
I just can't handle it. Makes me sick just thinking about it.
Well, I mean, you can hear what I'm saying without actually saying it, because you heard it many times.
Oh, hold on.
Oh.
There's a position. Did you? Oh, it looks like. Oh, did you see that? Hold on. That
JP
was,
actually went into the pits.
Yeah, well, he did go into the pits, but look at what Mike Weir did. That is going to cause some issues going down. Let me rewind this back. I don't know if you've seen what I saw. Watch this here. So I'm going to stop it. Go to the. Let me find the right camera here. I'm sorry for holding it up. This was really a butt move by McCready. So JP was getting ready to go in. Was that McCready?
No, it was Weir.
Where? Yeah. So JP's getting ready to go into the pits. He goes around him, and then just basically brake checks him. So looking at that from. I want to look at that from JP's view. JP has to stop, almost. He's getting ready. Look at him. That slows him down just enough to not get into the pits when he wanted to. So that's going to cause some problems. I guarantee you there's going to be a fight after the race because of that.
Yeah, I mean.
That was a move. That was a. I like the move. It was snaky. It's shady. It is what it is. We'll see how it happens at the end. But we've already know them two have had issues racing before.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, as we were talking earlier, JP's going to be wanting to come in sooner. I said maybe 27, 28 minutes, but he's actually pushed that back quite a bit.
Yeah. But now he's good to the end of the race.
Yeah, now he's good, and he'll get those positions back, and it actually looks like Jamie Mosley's crashed again as well as Christopher Morrison.
Yeah, I'm getting that.
Am I reading that right?
I'm getting that same notification. Let's go back and take a look at it. While JP is looking to pass some guys, look like they're not together. He just gets a little wide there. Guns it a little too hard. The man said he crashed because he went off the track. He went out of track limits. Let's go back and take a look at Christopher Morrison. Oh, the tires are just too hot.
Yeah. Yeah, he came in a little too hot there, and if he would have pushed his braking back a little bit, I think he would have been all right there.
Yep. So let's take a look at how the weather is right now. The track temperature is actually 107 degrees now. So these tires are definitely hating for these drivers at the moment. They're screaming that they're burning alive because they are. They're falling off their cars, and that's why they're getting slick. That's why they're getting really loose because, as I've stated before, the optimal racing temperature for these tires is between 95 degrees Fahrenheit and 100 to 102 degrees Fahrenheit on a good day. And we're way above that. We're 7 degrees over that for sure. So it's going to be interesting to see, how we move forward. JP's up to 6th. Mike Weir and Eric McCready currently holds 1-2.
Yeah, so I mean, now JP is 43 seconds back of, McCready, but none of the guys ahead of him have pitted.
Nope. And let's pull up our pit stints and see what the length of them are so far. As we have Shepard come into pit lane. So looking at it here, the top 4, McCready, Ware, Tamara, and Crooks, have been out for 15 laps. Alfonso pitted at lap 13. He's currently out on 2. He's currently 2 laps out now from his pit stop. And he's slowly but surely gaining.
Yeah, and I mean, that's all he needs is, just for them to go in the pit. And I mean,
he'll be able to gain that position back for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And as I'm Looking through here, just trying to find JP's pit stint, and it looks like it was about 15 seconds or 45 seconds total.
Let's look at the pit stop time. Pit stop time for JP was 15.9, so he just took fuel.
Yeah.
He just took fuel. Now looking at the lap he took it at 15, like I said. So,
Yes.
as McCready is on pit road at this time.
Yeah. So his actual stop was 15.9, but the entire pit stop, like entering pit lane and exiting, was about 45.7 seconds.
So will that be enough? We're going to keep an eye on McCready now. He's still holding that pit lane. He's still there. Where's JP at? JP's coming up to the wall of champions there. It's going to be close. McCready's out and JP's on his tail. But is it going to be enough is the question of the hour. Go back and take a look at McCready. So now there is about a 15-second gap between McCready and JP now. The pit strategy may have not have worked out like JP had wanted it to, and that's okay, because now Alfonso is 30 seconds behind Weir, and let's just say let's just say David Tamara and Mike Weir are they're 1 and 2. So between the leaders, he is about 30 seconds back. If them two pit and take over 30 seconds, he's got their position.
Yeah. And I mean, just looking at some of the pit times, they're 54 seconds, 45 seconds.
That's from time they enter to the time they leave.
Yeah, as Mike Weir actually enters the pits now.
Yep, he's on pit road. We're going to take a look at his time. As we see, we're at 12 seconds now at the bottom of your screen. We're going to keep an eye on that, because if it's over 30 seconds, JP's going to pass him. Now let's see where JP is on track. JP is got that thing gunned as he comes down there to the wall of champions. So Mike Weir will have the first. I'm sorry, Eric McCready will have that first position. Mike Weir is in his pit stop and his pit stop now. Mike Weir is at 34 seconds. JP Alfonso is going to pass him for his position. JP will be second.
Yeah, as you saw.
Oh, hold on. They are out together. This is going to be a battle.
You see, when David Tamara went in the pits, it looks like he overshot his pit lane just a little bit.
Yep. And so now let's talk about the next issue that has arisen. It seems like every time something happens, another issue pops up. Now, Mike Weir has more weight in his rear end than Alfonso does, which is going to keep him on the ground more. It's going to make him a little bit faster in the corners, where Alfonso will have to lift a little more just so he doesn't knock his rear end out.
Yep.
But it's only a few laps. I think it was 2 full laps between the three on pitting. Do you think that will be enough to affect him?
I honestly don't think it'll be that big of a deal. Not 2 or 3 laps of fuel. I mean, you're only talking, maybe.
What about 4
like
laps? Because they're showing 4 laps between the difference. Where Mike Weir pitted on 17, JP was on lap 13. So
4 laps in fuel. I mean, it's hard to say, but I mean, you're talking maybe.
Oh, JP cut the corner and is gonna get a time penalty.
Yeah, so he's gonna have to slow down.
Oh man, JP overdrove that corner. He knows that he needs to get by these two to secure his points. He's got to calm down. There he is. He's taking the time. He's taking that time. And that is going to be the upset of the day for him right there.
Yeah. It actually looks like Christopher Morrison has crashed. And Jamie Maudsley went off track. I'm not sure if that related at all.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Looks like Christopher Morrison had to pit. As I think Christopher Morrison's going to round that corner. Nope, that's Eric
Well,
McCready.
almost catches Eric McCready.
Yep.
So with Eric McCready jumping that corner, he's going to have to slow down now too.
Yeah, he just can't get out. There you go. That's a good job. Just hold it where you can, brother. Yeah, hopefully JP ain't listening to us because we're creating the drama for this race right now.
Yeah. I mean, you see Roger Clark just right on the tail of JP.
Yep, and that's a battle. That's a position battle for podium. Roger's going to start pushing here. We're about 15 minutes away from the end of this race. Yeah, Roger's going to start pushing. JP's going to start pushing. Weir is going to start pushing on McCready because McCready did have a time penalty for cutting that. Maybe he didn't, because if the race control seen that he was forced over there, he may not have had to take that penalty.
Yeah, it's hard to say.
It is. I mean, we can't hear what race control's telling these guys, so we just have to assume. We do know JP did have to take his time penalty because when he went through this corner here, he had to almost stop on track. So.
Now JP's just hoping that the guys in front of them, you know, just they make a mistake, they spin out, they overdrive a corner, you know, just something, so we can get back up there and you know, get that second position back.
Yeah, I definitely would like to see JP win this race. I just don't think it's there unless the top two crash. Truly, I don't think it's going to happen for him tonight. Third place finish will still set well with them in points, but not as good as McCready and Weir taking a 1-2 spot tonight.
No, absolutely. And does JP just kind of count his losses and be like, all right, well, if I can finish third, it may, you know, just be my drop race, and you know, I won't really need to worry about it all that much.
Yeah, I'm not sure because we didn't start broadcasting till about halfway through the season, so we don't know what JP's worst race was. This may be it, you know.
Yeah, well, actually,
can you look at that? Do you have paperwork on that?
I'll see if I can pull it up here.
Well, he's going through the file cabinet. We're going to go through the field one more time. Let's see where these guys stacked out after these green flag pit or these green flag open run pit stops. So Eric McCready currently holds that first position. In second place, we have Mike Weir. In third place, as you see JP trying to figure that car out. He holds that third spot, but that's not nothing because Roger Clark is on his tail. He's slowly catching him, cutting down that time. He is less than a second behind him. In that fifth place is David Tamara. David Tamara currently sits about 9 seconds behind Roger. In the sixth spot is Sean Crooks. In seventh, we have Scott Shepard. In eighth, we have Jamie Maudsley. He has had a tough time all night long. Jamie Maudsley is our fastest mover of the race, but he's had some troubles tonight, but not as much trouble as Charles Harris has had in that Mercedes. We've seen him spin multiple times tonight. He's just trying to get through to this race. He's probably cussing everything he can. I don't even want to hear his radio traffic tonight. In that 10th position is Christopher Morrison. He is currently out of the race, and in 11th is Brian Mansfield. Rob, what you got for me?
So it looks like actually his Bell Island race that he did back on the 19th, he started 14th, finished 10th. Didn't lead any laps or anything. So that may be one of his drop races, as well as the one at Road Atlanta, where he started 4th and finished 16th.
Yeah, because of the issue of Mason Neal, the incident they had together. So this race would not count as a drop race then?
No. So let's just go back and we'll take a look at Eric McCready here. And that one's, it's hard to say. Right now his two worst races are going to be Road America and Laguna Seca.
Okay.
You know, where he started, second at Road Atlanta, finished sixth. Started first at Laguna Seca and finished sixth.
Okay, so not near as bad as what JP's drop races were. So actually, the drop may affect JP in a positive way. Because everything past that, he's been pretty consecutive in the being at least top 5.
Yeah.
So definitely something to look into, guys. We'll have to pay attention to this as we go into next week at Sebring. Yeah, we'll try to get everything put together for the points so we can maintain those during the race and see who's doing the best and how we're going from there. Let's talk about what is confirmed next season, though, for what we're broadcasting. We know for sure we're doing NASCAR on Wednesday night. Is that right?
Sorry?
We are confirmed broadcasting NASCAR on Wednesday night. Is that accurate?
Yeah. Yes.
So we're going to still do that as always. Sorry, I was looking at what Race Control just sent us. But in Tuesdays and Thursdays, we may be streaming. Or Tuesdays and Thursdays, we may stream a race and broadcast a race. Yeah. And then Monday is obviously going to be a streaming night for us. So we'll have our race team set up by then, and we'll be good to roll. So some exciting things come to the channel and for this league for sure. We are dropping dirt completely. That is the one thing that I am sad about. Maybe it'll come back in Season 4. We'll see what happens. But as of right now, Season 3 does not hold any dirt content at all. Which, for me personally, I don't race dirt. But there are some fans that we have that watch us that do love dirt. So we'll try to figure out something for the dirt side.
Yeah.
All right, so let's look back at it here. Clark and Alfonso and Ware are about 3 seconds apart. They are still in position for... Oh, I thought JP was just crashed. But he didn't. JP and Ware are fighting for that position. Ware is currently holding off JP for that position, and Ware is trying to catch McCready, but McCready is just hauling. McCready currently holds about 10 seconds over... or about 8 seconds over Mike Ware. So.
Yeah, and I mean, you just take a look at their fastest laps as well. I mean, Eric McCready sitting there with a 136.2, and we're sitting there with a 137.04.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, you can see the differences there, but the last lap, Eric McCready put out a 138. Mike Ware put it out a 137, and JP Alfonso putting out a 136.
Yep. So out of the three, JP is still the fastest.
Yeah, and he is closing that gap behind, Mike Ware. He's almost on the tail end of him.
He is going into that corner there. This is a battle right now, guys. These two are battling. They're playing like checkers. Well, one's playing checkers, the other one's playing chess.
Yeah.
That's the best way to look at it here. Porsches are a lighter car, though. Do you think they just have better takeoff speed than the Ferrari does?
They might. I mean, it comes down to the racer and when they're able to, get into the gas going around those corners, and able to put down that, top line speed. So, but, it all comes down to, once they're on those straights, JP has that draft that he can just pull up to Weir. And, this track has a lot of them, so that gap can close real quick.
Yeah, and we were talking about the drops a while ago. I was getting word that Ware's first race was at Daytona in the first race of the season. with 16 points, but he also did not race. So
Yeah.
he didn't race that race. So that would count as his drop race, I'm guessing.
Yeah. Oh, and it looks like Roger Clark has actually crashed.
Oh no. Roger is currently holding his 6th position now. Yep, and he just loses it. Tough break for Roger.
Yeah, for sure.
He's currently our biggest break of the evening with two positions lost there. And the battle of the evening is going to be between JP and Mike Weir. Oh, JP got a little loose there. Had to slow her down going through the S's. I just heard somebody else crash, I think. I thought I did. It sounded like it.
It sounded like it.
Yep.
But race control didn't say anybody crashed, so we'll keep with, Mike Weir and JP Alfonso as they battle for the 2nd position.
Yeah, this is a battle. They have less than 5 minutes, Rob.
Yep. We got 3 minutes of racing left.
Now, why you have that paper pulled out between the two? Which one's higher? I know. What's the points difference right now between Mike Weir and JP?
Let me just find the current sheet here.
Okay.
And,
As we may have a pass here. Nope. We're gonna hold off here. No pass yet, but JP is gonna fall right behind him there. Man, there's gonna be a pass here soon. I just feel it. I feel it deep in my bones.
So right now the difference between JP Alfonso and Mike Weir is 42 points.
42 points. Oh, here we go. These two were battling at Mount Panorama, and this is identical to where they was racing, except it was vice versa. Mike Weir was behind JP, and JP actually was in the blunt end of a confrontation there, and it actually caused both of them to get damaged, but Mike Weir ended up winning that race. JP is battling right now, trying to get something, but it looks like Mike Weir just has just enough to what he needs as he gets there inches from the back bumper. Oh, and JP grabs the wall, and that, oh, man.
He was just trying to push it a little too hard.
I want to look at his, as he goes through here. I want to see how his toe may be out of line, guys. It is.
Yeah, it's out about 10 degrees or so. And that's tough for him.
Look, he's trying to keep it straight. That sucks. He just needs to hold on for 2 minutes. David Tamara is going to try to close that gap. There, he's closing it. I mean, he's closing it quick.
I mean, he's about 10 seconds back.
Yeah, but he just look at him here.
Closing quick.
His spotter and his crew chief is like, JP crash, go, go, go. JP crash,
Yeah.
go, go, go.
You can see the damage on the wing there.
Well, you can see him sideways too.
He's trying to hold on to it.
Yeah,
that's a tough break for him.
Yeah, he can't even keep it straight. David Tamara is going to pass them for that 3rd position. Right now, JP will take it to the pits. That is... I don't even have words for what happened.
Yeah, so he'll more than likely come down just for a quick repair, get out there so that he can...
maybe battle David Tamara again.
Yeah.
Although we're at the 45-minute mark.
We're at the 45-minute mark, so he may just park it for the night.
Yep, and let me go over here, take a look at Eric. Eric, this is going to be the final lap. Lap 28, this is it. This is this is it for him. Eric McCready, if he can get through this and hold off Mike Weir, who is 5 seconds behind him, he will have this race in the bag. As it sits right now, our biggest loser, our biggest faller backer. I don't know how you want to put that in the words, but the biggest, the toughest break tonight is to
Biggest
JP.
upset. Yeah.
Biggest upset's to JP tonight. As I stated, we're at 45-40 on the mark. This is the final lap. Eric McCready has got to go through championship or champion tunnel, champion turn, whatever you called it, Rob. He's got 2 turns to go, and he's going to have this win tonight here in Montreal. This is it. Congratulations to Eric McCready. As we call him, Eric McMullet McCready. Or is it Eric Mullet McCready?
No, McMullet McCready.
McMullet. Well, he's your winner tonight. Mike Weir is going to pass right behind him in second. David Tamara, I've not seen him up there too much. He's going to have a podium on tonight here at Montreal. He's going to hold that 3rd spot. Roger Clark. There's a battle between Sean and Roger. Let's see as we come into the final turn here. Roger is going to take the 4th position or going to hold that 4th position away from Sean Crooks. Sean Crooks is going to have that 5th position. JP will come in 6th.
Yeah.
Scott Shepard is going to make his way through tonight. He's got a lot of damage on his car.
Yeah, he does.
He's got a lot of damage on his car. He's going to come through the final 2 turns. He's going to hold his 7th position. Jamie Maudsley and Charles Harris is going to battle here. Let's take a look at this. I don't know if he's close enough to do anything with. Oh, maybe. We'll see here. Okay, we're going to have a battle. I look like we're going to have a battle. Maudsley's going to take home the 8th position, and 9th is going to belong to Charles Harris. 10th and 11th belongs to Christopher Morrison and Brian Mansfield. Both of those guys did not finish this race this evening.
Actually, for David Tamara, that's only his 3rd podium this season.
3rd podium. Well, that's good for him. He did good.
You see Eric doing the... Is he trying to draw fleur-de-lis? Is that what he's doing?
What is a fleur-de-lis?
A fleur-de-lis is the Quebec's national flower. Because you know how you guys in the States have your state birds? Well, we have provincial flowers.
Well, it looks pretty good. It's not Bob Ross painting. It's an Eric McMullet McCready painting. So, good job tonight.
As he blows the engine there, and you know all
does.
the manufacturer yelling at him now.
Oh, he's
That
pissed.
probably cost him $135,000.
Yeah, they're
right
pissed.
there.
They're pissed. So.
All right.
Well, are they available to talk?
Yeah, let's see if we can pull some of them down here. So we'll grab Eric here. Give me a second. Eric, this is Rob in the booth. How you got me?
Loud and clear.
Alrighty. Well, you know, you started on podium. You led, I believe it was 95, 98% of that race. And come out with a win. Were you worried at any time about the guys in behind you?
Nah, it's just JP. Hey, you forgot to mention I did it with only 1 axe, too. So, you know.
You did. Yeah, you only did it with 1 X, 1 off track. So that's not bad at all.
No, everything worked out. I guess the track was nasty, and I think I had a bit of an advantage. So the track was hot. It was really slippery, and the name of the game today was just throttle control, just being smooth coming out of the corners. It was really easy to lose it, and I'm gonna give a shout out to my boy Calvin Dent at Sim 3D. He makes these rumble motors that go on your pedals, put them on your seat, and they really give you a good indication when you're about to lose that rear end, and helped a lot. So it was, you know, I don't want to say it was the equipment, but definitely wasn't the skill. Something got me the win.
Well, good job. I do want to bring up one thing that I know you were probably sweating about and was telling your crew members to get you back out there. but it was when you went into the pits and JP was already done pitting. Did that scare you at all? Did you think he was going to catch you?
No, no. So I have an overlay that shows how long people's pit runs are, and JP pitted really early and still had like a 15.5-second pit run, which is really long for pitting on like what lap like 8 or something.
He pitted on lap 13.
When pit run? Oh no, yeah. So wait, we ran 28 laps, so minus it shows me how many laps he ran since then. So he pitted really early, and I'm like, he had a pretty long stop. So I don't know what happened there, but he was like 5 seconds behind me when he pitted, and then when I finally pitted, he was 12 seconds behind me.
Yeah, you're right there. But then when Mike Ware, him and Mike Ware were battling pretty hard for that second position until JP lost it there at the end. Were you afraid that they were going to catch you at all?
Oh man, not at first. I was watching my relative. I was talking to the guys. I'm like, oh, Mike and JP must be battling, and I'm watching my relative. Next thing I know, the chicane's coming up, and I missed my braking marker by like 100 meters and had to almost come to a complete stop. So yeah, at that point, I'm like, oh, uh-oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, when Christopher Morrison spun out in front of you and you had to cut that corner to avoid him, did you incur any time penalty from that?
Oh yeah, I gotta slow down.
I didn't know if the race control didn't let it go through because you were kind of forced off track.
That would have been great. Come on, iRacing, implement that.
It was definitely a force, but hey, it keeps everybody the same in the end. If one cuts and gets a penalty, they all get cut and get a penalty, right? So
I'd rather cut and get the slowdown than have hit him. So
yeah, you did good avoiding him though.
What's that?
I said you did good avoiding him though.
yeah. There might be something a little left in my pants after that.
Well, go home and let somebody else check it because I'm gonna stay up here in the booth and not smell it.
Yeah. You don't want any of this.
All right, Eric. Well, I'm sure you've closed a little bit of the gap in the point standings. Are you excited for next week's race?
Maybe. Depends where it is.
Sebring.
Sebring?
Yep.
Huh. I like Sebring. I don't love it.
You like it but don't love it. All right.
Well, there's definitely a points battle that's happening right now, and we're gonna have to determine the winner on the last race of the season. So hopefully you are season's 3 winner. I'm sorry, season 2's winner. Season's 2 winner.
Yeah, I'd be fine with that. What JP ended? Oh, JP ended up at 6th. Oh yeah, that's gonna hurt him a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit.
I know. I didn't even have to take him out on the track, so.
Oh God, don't tell him that.
All right, Eric. Well, it's always a pleasure talking to you, and I'm sure we will catch you right back here next week.
All right, thanks a lot, guys.
All right. All right, let's see if we can get Mike down here. All right, Mike, this is Rob in the booth. How you got me?
Loud and clear.
All right, well, you finished second. You started second. You got to be feeling good about that. But, coming down to the end there, you had JP right on your tail. And, ultimately he caught that wall. And you were able to just walk away with second. So you got to be feeling pretty good about that.
Yeah, there's a special place in hell reserved for the person who laid the tarmac on that track. It was slippery as all fuck tonight. It was rough, but yeah, I kept the car out of the wall. That was the important part. JP was going pretty quick before the pit stop, and he had a really slow entrance to the pit. And so I saw that, and that's when I kind of just started to put the hammer down, and I got a good entrance to the pit. And I came out a couple seconds ahead of me, and then he got a little loose after that. My goal was, I knew he was catching me. My tires were absolutely cooked. I knew he was going to get me, and my goal was to kind of put him offline, and because I figured his tires weren't as bad as mine, but they were close, and I was just hoping he'd be off a little bit offline and slip up a little bit. That's kind of what happened.
Now let's go back and talk about that move you made on him as he was trying to get into the pit road. It looked like you slowed him down intentionally. Now, you can answer this question truthfully, or you can tell me to go kick rocks. But did you do that intentionally to get him slowed down to the pits? I know you're braking in your turning point there, getting into the turns 11 and 12. Was that outside line? Was there a reason you jumped back in front of him like you did and caused him to basically come to a stop getting into the pit road?
I was behind him, and he broke really early going into the pits. Like I couldn't believe how early that was, and it caught me off guard. To be completely honest, that's basically what it was. I don't know what else, what I could have done there. I was coming in fast, and that was like he broke before the braking point to go to the pits that I did, just to take the corner. So that's like if you go to the pits on that track, you actually brake a lot later than the braking point for the corner. So that's basically all it was.
Yep. All right. Well, I know that you two have had some differences at other tracks. I didn't know if that was a big finger to him or, to me,
No.
the way it looked, and we showcased it. It happened right in front of us. It looked like it was, well, I'm going to slow you down just a little bit more so I can get ahead of you. Since you knew he was going into the pits, and you know what, that calls for good trauma. So,
No, it just caught me off guard how early he broke there. That's all it was. I don't know if he's he doesn't have experience in the pits on that track or not, but it just he broke really early and it caught me off guard. I thought I was going to rear-end him. That's how early he broke. So
wow.
It scared me. I thought I was going to get in the back of him. I was trying to avoid him completely. Like I know we had that incident at Bathurst, so I legit early in the race, I just said just go because I can't keep up with them anyway. So that's basically how I felt in that situation.
Now, the feeling you felt when you seen him get into the wall outside of was it Champions Turn or whatever, Champions Corner?
Wall of Champions.
Wall of Champions. He's corrected me 14 times tonight.
Wall of Champions is the one before the start finished. I don't know the name of the other one. I forget.
Did he? I think he lost it in the Wall of Champions.
Oh, I didn't see that one. The one I saw was after turn 4 with the quick right and the left, and he got loose there, and he put it in the wall twice, I think.
Maybe it was that one. I'm not sure, but I know he lost it, and his car was absolutely destroyed from hitting that wall.
Yeah.
In fact, it was to the point. Where
he had to pit.
He had to pit, and David Tamara ended up picking up third.
Yeah. Like I said, my goal there was I know he was, like I said, I wanted to see if I could get him off his line a little bit into that corner. And he there was a gap there. He wasn't going to try to pass me on that corner, but I wanted to just make him a little bit uncomfortable coming out of that corner, and it worked. Slowed him down a lot.
Well, I mean, every time you're on the track, it's amazing to see a race, and seeing you pick up a podium. It's always great to see as well. In closing, you have anything to say to your fans here tonight?
Not too much. I think we got 1 week left, so I'm looking forward to that. My goal is to get third place in the championship, so I'm battling very closely with Sean. So other than that, I'm looking forward to the last race of the season.
Yeah, absolutely. And, we're heading to Sebring International, and I'm sure that'll be quite the race to see for sure.
Yeah, not a bad track for me. Got lots of practice from the 12-hour earlier this year.
Now, just while we're all under the same umbrella here, you have the latest stats posted for points, right, Rob? You have that pulled up next to you.
I think it may take a little time to be updated.
Okay, what about before this race? Where were the points at before this race between Mike Wheeler?
Yeah, I was just a little bit behind Sean, and unfortunately JP's wreck got Sean a little closer to me, so I don't think I'm going to jump ahead of him yet. So it's going to come down to the last race of the season for sure with Sean and I.
Yeah, because he's only 8 points back from Sean.
Yeah,
I got you.
Yeah, so probably not enough to get ahead of him, but we'll see.
Well, you never know what next week's going to hold. You may win next week by a mile, and he may lose, and he may lose by a mile. You never know. So
we'll see. Sebring could be a tough track. It's tight. Just got to keep it smooth.
Well, we look forward to it.
Yep.
All right. Thanks a lot, Mike.
Yeah. Have a good night. Bye-bye.
All right. Is David around?
Yeah. So Dave, it's Rob in the booth. How you got me?
I got it.
All right. Well, you know, as we're talking, JP got into that wall. Believe turns 4 and 5, and you were able to squeak by narrowly because he was all over the track as you were coming down there, and you were able to finish on a podium spot. So that's gotta have you feeling pretty good. Being the third podium of this season.
Yep. Uh, First of all, I want to say sorry first to Roger because on the first lap I missed my brake and I gave it back to him on the straightaway. And then after that, I just drive my line and just waiting for somebody make mistake in front of me. And fortunately for me, Roger and JP had an accident, and then I have to get around JP really careful because yeah, he was all over the last before last turn.
Yep.
But yeah, I got it.
Good deal. Well, you've not had too many podiums this season, but this one definitely comes in at a very good time for your point standings. Maybe you can jump a few points and have a couple of your drop races dropped and move yourself in a pretty good position to be a contender for the final race of the season, which is next week at Sebring. What is your thoughts going into that race next week?
It's just having fun, and all guy over here is really fast. I mean, Eric, Mike, Roger, JP, Sean, everybody's really fast. So I just gonna be drive carefully, uh, and didn't make mistake like last week. I made mistake on the exit from the pit, and I got the penalty.
There you go. Well,
Yeah.
well, good job this week. It was a tough break for JP, but that tough break turned into you being the one of the two fastest movers of the race. So congrats to you on that. Congrats on a podium win. And final words or final thoughts to your fans before you head out tonight?
I just want to shout out to my wife, Rose, and my daughter, Cara.
A good shout out. Maybe they'll watch and see this and hear the shout out, brother. Well, it was fun watching you tonight, watching top three guys. Heck, watching all you guys race tonight. It was fun. Congratulations on your podium, and go celebrate.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Well, Rob, that's another one in the books.
It's another one in the books, and I'm kind of happy we came to Canada.
Well, you live there. I'm a little far away from home. I'm ready to get back to Alabama. I've had somebody look at me and be like, "Hey, you got a gun? Hey, you got a gun?" I'd be like, "No, I can't carry it here." Nah,
Well,
I had to throw that
mean-
joke in there.
I mean, it's only a 2.5 hour flight back home for you, so I mean that's not that terrible. I mean,
No.
I made that I made that flight Sunday, so
There you go. Well, all right. Let's talk about some things, Rob.
alrighty.
Well, this race was a good race to watch, and I'm going to go ahead and dog somebody right now. He may be my sponsor, but I'm still going to give him corrective criticism where I can. I think if JP had slowed down and been a little more smooth on his turns,
Mhm.
I think he may have been able to overtake Mike Ware because he was definitely faster.
Yeah.
But I think with him seeing the time ticking down, he was wanting that position, and it got the best of him. So I'm going to give him the corrective criticism where I see it. That's what a broadcaster does, and that's my thoughts on it. At the same time, I think Eric had the best strategy of the evening.
Yeah.
Obviously, his strategy worked because he finished in first. Now, points, this is definitely going to shake up the point standings in some way, some form, some fashion.
Yeah.
But the biggest shout out of the night goes to Roger. He did a complete 360 tonight, spinning that car around, and he still has a top 5 spot. And he was in 7th at one point. So, good job to Roger tonight. That's my final thoughts. Rob, what do you got?
Well, it's more of the same. It's, I'm sure JP could have got that position on Weir if, he didn't drive it as hard. I mean, as you said, the time was ticking down, and he was just trying to push, and he pushed it a little too hard. He carried a little bit too much speed into that corner, and ultimately tagged the wall, and absolutely destroyed the car. But as much of a setback as it is, I'm sure he'll come back out here next week at Sebring International, and I'm sure we'll see him up on the podium there.
Yeah, if he wins next week, he has championship. I believe that's what I'm hearing from what you've been telling me. JP has to win next week to definitely secure the spot. He has to finish podium to have a good sitting at the end anyway. Whether it be first, second, or third. Second will more than likely guarantee him a spot at the championship. Holden being the championship guy, but he's definitely if he wins it, he's got it, and he knows that, and that's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, for sure. And I can't wait for next week. It's been moved from a night race to a day race, so we may have temperature issues. May see tires start falling off cars earlier than expected, and have to see people come in for tires. Maybe.
Yep.
It's not guaranteed, but it might be. So yeah, that's all I got in closing. Just really, just want to thank everybody that joined in, tonight. We actually got rated with a party of 4, and that's our first raid ever here. So just a shout out to Itiga for
Thank
rating
you.
us with that party of 4.
Yep, thank you, Atiga, for that. We really
And,
appreciate it.
Yep. I mean, you get people in and sit down and watch some amazing racing here. So we do appreciate it. We do appreciate every follow and everything else. And we, just want to thank you guys again.
Yep. So, in closing tonight, guys, if everybody is, not following, make sure you hit that follow button and make sure you hit the notification bell so you can see when we're going live. If you feel generous, you can always leave your subscription. Amazon Prime, if you have it, you can subscribe for free, no cost to you, with a Prime subscription to Amazon. Some people believe I didn't know that till about a year ago, so some people may not know that. We do appreciate every bit of the subscriptions and followers that we have, all the people that tune in weekly and watch us. If you feel generous enough to donate, our donation link is below in our About page. We love you guys. We hope you all stay safe tonight. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll be racing into that, or we'll be broadcasting the NASCAR Next Gen Series. That'll be a fun race to watch. We love you. Do what now?
We're at Martinsville.
Really?
Yep.
Oh man. I may not be in the booth.
You're going to be in the booth.
Ben, where you at, buddy? I'm at the call on him. All right. Well, I've had fun tonight, Rob. I'm going to go back to Alabama now. You have a good night up here in Canada. We love you from the United Racing Network, from the back end production team. We'll see you we'll see you tomorrow. We'll be at Martinsville. I may or may not be here since I just figured out we're going to Martinsville. We love you, and we'll see you tomorrow night. This broadcast is the property of the United Racing Network and Twitch.tv. All reproductions of this broadcast must be approved by the United Racing Network staff. United Racing Network does not claim any responsibility for mishaps that may occur while listening to this production. United Racing Network reserves the right to delete, mute, unpublish, and or move streaming locations without notice. The opinions of the announcers are not influenced by sponsorship, league administration, or any other outside entities. Thank you.